Welcome to another episode of Mountain Standard True Crime. I'm Michelle Carlson. Content in this episode may be disturbing to some and is not appropriate for children. As a reminder, the information shared on this podcast comes from publicly available sources and/or through official requests. Any opinions shared are strictly that and are not intended to be interpreted as fact. Today's short episode is the story of a beautiful young woman with a very promising future who was murdered by her father, bringing to light some very disturbing information. And here we go. On January 11th, 2024, after completing the Sheriff's Academy, stunningly beautiful 25-year-old Marbella Martinez was sworn in as a corrections officer with the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office and went on to work in the Salt Lake County Jail as a corrections officer. In just a little over 6 months' time from this high achievement, she will be dead. On July 31st, 2024, Marbella communicated by phone, I'm unsure if it was via text or phone call, with her mom, Barbara Jimenez, who, despite living in Belize, was in daily contact with Marbella. Marbella was living with her father, 54-year-old Hector Martinez Ayala, originally from Honduras, in Tooele, Utah, which is about 34 miles southwest of Salt Lake City, Utah, in Tooele County. During the mother-daughter conversation, Marbella told her mom that she had argued with her dad the day prior. Barbara did not know the details of the argument, and that she was not feeling well and was going to call in sick to work. The last message Barbara received from her daughter was around 2 p.m. on July 31st. A few hours later, Barbara grew concerned about her daughter and contacted Marbella's father, who initially told her that their daughter was at work. And then he began deflecting, say he was busy feeding the animals, etc. And then ultimately, he started ignoring her messages. After spending all night not being able to contact Marbella or her father, Barbara called Hector's brother, who promised to go check on Marbella. Not long after, around 8 a.m. on August 1st, Barbara received the tragic news that Marbella had been found dead in her bedroom by the Tooele Police Department and that her father was not on the property. Barbara said that she immediately knew that Hector probably killed her because of his bad temper. Neighbors reported that there were no gunshots heard or any other circumstances to lead them to believe that something was not right in the Martinez home. There was no concern from the neighbors prior to Marbella's uncle calling in a welfare check, which resulted in his niece being found deceased. She was lying on top of the bed, covered with a blanket up to her neck. The Utah coroner's office determined that she had been strangled to death and had fingernail claw marks on her face and neck. There is speculation that she had also been sexually assaulted. Hector Martinez reportedly had fled the country that same day, sending a text message to his brother saying, quote, "My brother, you know how much I love you. I made a big mistake, an unforgivable sin. Now I'm too scared and I don't know what to do. I think I will never come back." On September 6th, 2024, Marbella's 54-year-old father, Hector Martinez Ayala, was charged with murder and the following: 2 counts of obstructing justice, second-degree felonies, 1 count of stalking a current or former cohabitant, a third-degree felony, 1 count of unlawful transaction, possession, or transfer of a financial transaction card, a third-degree felony, 2 counts of unlawful use of a transaction card, Class A misdemeanors. He withdrew $1,000 in cash from Marbella's bank account using her card. He couldn't even get out of Dodge on his own dime. What a dirtbag. And 1 count of unlawful possession of another's identification documents, a Class A misdemeanor. We learned later that the scumbag had used his twin brother's identification to flee Utah. In this photo, Hector Martinez Ayala was wearing huge gaudy gold rings, 4 on the same hand, and a skull bracelet on the same hand. And he has this smug smile in this photo, if you're audio only. Um, it made me laugh, like it's just kind of over the top. Anyhow, investigators said that texts from Marbella's dad were, quote, obsessed and controlling, end quote, and that they were, quote, more of the nature of a jealous lover than a father, end quote. In February, Martinez found a bag of her underwear and her used hygiene products in her dad's room, which led to a confrontation after which he promised to change and stop his disgusting habits. And as a side note, if you're familiar with the Susan Powell case from here in Utah, her father in law was obsessed with her and had the same disgusting behaviors related to her. Anyway, Hector Martinez is also accused of placing a tracking device in his daughter's vehicle on July 29th to follow her and someone she began dating to a hiking area in Bates Canyon near Tooele, Utah, where they lived. Marbella stayed at a hotel room until July 31st when she was last captured by surveillance footing entering her home. I have read multiple conflicting times when this occurred. However, cameras were disabled after this last captured footage, and it is believed that she was likely killed shortly thereafter. In a statement to the media, Salt Lake County Sheriff Rosie Rivera said, quote, Deputy Martinez was a dedicated member of our sheriff's office family. In her short time with us, she became a cherished friend and an integral part of our team. Her untimely and tragic death is a profound loss for us all. End quote. This beautiful young lady was in the prime of her life, with a very bright, successful future ahead of her, whose life was unnecessarily and tragically taken by her father, a man who is a disgusting coward, and instead of being the protector of his daughter, which he should have been, he murdered her and now has fled so that he cannot be held accountable and brought to justice. I truly hope that her piece of shit father will be extradited back to Utah and that justice will be served for beautiful young Marbella and her devastated family, coworkers, and friends. We will keep you informed of any updates on this tragic case. Thank you for watching and or listening. If you haven't yet, please give this episode a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It's free. And if you're on Spotify, please follow us. And we would really appreciate it if you would share our channels and our episodes. Everyone knows at least one true crime junkie. As always, please be aware of your surroundings, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Mountain Standard True Crime. Take care.